Just a couple of minutes, folks. I'm getting everybody here because there's quite a few people that wanted to join in on this, so I'm going to get as many people as I can notified that I am live, and we will be talking about some fun stuff. Some wonderful stuff. Hi, get over here. Sup, Holmes? See what I did there? Didn't take you guys long at all, did it? This is just preamble before we get into the real fun stuff. Oh, before I forget, first thing I want to talk about is, for those who didn't see, I have my new glasses! You can't really see them, but they're like real old grandpa glasses, and, well, we're here, and we're ready to go. All's basically ready to go, and, yeah, let's do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chamber of the Wraith. My name is Brian, and in case you're wondering why I have a Flareon and a Heliolisk looking at the camera, that's going to be important for this video. Now, Mortal Kombat 11 has confirmed, or NetherRealm has confirmed that Mortal Kombat 11 is going to feature competitive variations and adjustable variations, in that you go to Combat League, you can pick one of the 3 base variations, and then you'll be able to also either mix and match or just completely create new moves. Now, or new variations. Now, a lot of characters' moves have made appearances inside of their tournament variations. There aren't actually that many that aren't. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from top to bottom, left to right, but this time, top to bottom, left to right, like this, in order to cover every single variation that we have. Just gotta make sure that I got all the peeps on the way! I think we're basically good to go. I don't think we're missing anybody. I'm just gonna send one last thing. One last little invite, and then we will get right into the coverage. And the idea is that we're just gonna run through the abilities that are not in any current variations right now, so that you can maybe get a few ideas as to what is going on. You know, what kind of moves you might want. And because we're starting top to bottom, left to right, we're gonna have to rip the Band-Aid off. Let's start with the Joker. And our sort of punching bag today is going to be
Sindel.
Faux Sindel. False identity Sindel, all that. And stage doesn't matter, so we're just going to hop on in. Joker doesn't have very many abilities that are not presently available in tournament variations, but there is enough to warrant having a look at. So, we're going to start from Ace Chemist, and oh, it looks like actually we shouldn't start from Ace Chemist because... Oh, I know what we should start with. We start from... Oh no! I forgot. It goes right into the tournament variations if I hit right. So, apologies. We're getting into the groove. We're getting into the groove of things. So I just got to go to variation 2, Gordon's Terror, because two of these abilities are going to make Joker really fun. So, this is the body variation, and I call it that not just because we have bodies in his strings, as you see, we have 2 new special moves that don't conflict with anything. First up is the 2-slot Corpse Hop, Corpse Trot, which is a timeable explosion. The tricky thing is that while it has, basically, you're only going to get somebody who's teleporting right away behind you. But you have to time it in order to get the opponent to be launched into the air meterlessly. That's the price. That's what you get for this sort of payment. And lo and behold, you can get a combo. If you amplify it right away, if you amplify as they hop, you get a combo easier because it explodes right when you push the button, as you can see here. And then we have, instead of the Jack-in-the-Box, so this will not have an armor break, we have Hello, Dinah Quinn! Dinah Quinn, that is a hell of a name, I love it. I'm pretty sure I know who you are, but still. We were just talking about the Corpse Trot, now we're going to talk about, or the Corpse Hop, now we're going to talk about Corpse Trot. This replaces your Jack-in-the-Box, so you won't get an armor break, but this thing does more damage and looks great. And then you can amplify it for a tricky low to add a little more damage. So you could do something like this combo, or wait, I'm actually going to put Easy Crushing Blows on. And then end it with that to get some really good damage. I'm very curious as to why the viewer count says it's 0. Because normally I'm not bothered by it, but I'm wondering if there's just stream trouble. I'm just going to pop it and have a look. Yeah, it's me. Okay, yeah, okay. Cassie Cage. Perfect! Okay, so it just looks like my view count is a little bit broken. So, those of you who are in here, don't be afraid to just pop in and say, hello! Discuss in the chat, as always. That's basically these abilities. I don't know what they're going to adjust. I feel like they might have the hostage hoppy a little bit better on startup. Just because I feel like that damage is so yummy. I know. But that's the thing. Off of a crushing blow, you get really nice damage. And that's the perk of using this attack, because you can get really nice meterless or metered damage if you really want to. So you can end your combo with this attack, throw in a low, bam, almost 20% and they're really far away. Next we're going to talk about this next ability, which I'm pretty sure is the last ability on here that isn't in anything, and that is Bowing. You guys remember Jackie Briggs, right? You guys remember Jackie Briggs and her super jump? Joker has it too. It just takes longer. And with the new flawless block change, I feel like this will probably get something similar, but otherwise, boing, in you get. And this is good for mobility, because of course you have different ranges. You have close, or you have short, normal, and then you have far to launch right into the opponent's face. And of course this complements really well with boxing gloves because it uses the same tool. I believe that is basically it. I'm just going to very quickly double check, laugh it up, but I'm reasonably sure that that's all that Joker is missing. And that is why I turned it into a stream, because even with the prep time, it was still about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes per character sounds about right. Except for Kitana, because guess what? Kitana has too many moves! Spoiler alert, Kitana has too much going on.
Scorpion.
Next up, though, is Scorpion. And Scorpion really only has only a few set moves that are not in any tournament variation, but there's enough of them that we can get a theme going that I really, really like. I'm really excited to show you guys this thing. It's basically the hot, spicy... It's spicy Hanzo, essentially, because this is all of his fire moves in one fell swoop, which they should have done for his variation. They should have done it for his variation 3, but we got the stupid fucking misery blade. Okay, so really quick, what are we talking about? I'm talking about close, far, and normal Hellflame, Demon Dash, and Demon Breath. So, Hellflame on its own is a sort of projectile. It doesn't hit until it hits the ground. And on Amplify, as you can see, it launches. So you can do something like, let's go full screen, just about. I messed that up. Hopefully they. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. She's gonna block that too. Hold on a second. Oh, with the right timing, it's really tricky, but with the right timing, you can absolutely catch that. I wish they were in a turning variation. Yeah, and now they kind of can be. So, how about this? How about this? There it is. There it is. So if we just do this, we get, yeah, we can do this. And then look at that. Full screen basic conversions for 2-bar. It's not the best damage. It isn't the best damage by any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, full screen conversions though? And, of course, we have the close and the far variations if you really want. Oh, by the way, these on block. Yeah, it can. That's kind of what it's designed to do, but while it can't combo into spear, you can actually combo into it from there. On its own, though, the attack is like -17 on block. It's very, very unsafe, so I would be careful with this one. I didn't mention this at all either, but both of the body attacks are safe on block for the Joker. Then we have Demon Dash, which is your basic, which is a really nice combo ender. For instance, we all know this. We all know this for Scorpions. Right? We all know this. We all know the damage it does. But, what if you did this? Yes, it is. And look at that! You didn't have to spend a crushing blow, and you basically get the same amount of damage. You get 0.5% less, and let's say you get this crushing blow, and then you forgo the spear. And amplify. It is a little bit less damage, but look at that! It looks so sweet! Here's the thing, though. In the corner, if Scorpion catches you in the corner, like this, it scales ridiculously hard. They'll probably end up fixing that. It's also unsafe on block at -17. On its own, it does 8250, but if it side switches, you're supposed to get more damage out of it like this. But I feel like this, which has been a problem since the beginning for this attack, will probably get fixed where that 11.87 becomes a 19 like it's supposed to be. And finally, we have the Demon Breath. We have Hot Fire Breath. That can be amplified to keep the opponent at +2. The normal is +20. So you're really just going to amplify it for the damage to try and close out a round. But if you want, you can, instead of ending in a crushing blow knockdown or the Demon Dash knockdown, you can go for your crushing blow, get this spear, and then do this, and then spear, and then fire. You're now +18, which means if you're +18, you can kind of try and dash in or enforce pressure. It's very good for that. On block, on its own, the attack is -21. And then on fire, and then on amplified, it's still -17. But because of all this pushback right at its maximum range, very few opponents will be able to catch Scorpion, even though he's -17 at this range. Definitely a lifesaver for score plays. Yeah, definitely really good for that, if you manage to get the Demon Dash in. And that's basically it for Scorpion that we haven't touched, but if we go to Kryptonite, I'm going to show you an example of how the mix and match system works by showing you some attacks that you probably recognize, but are now matched up with Demon Breath in this case. Let me show you. Yeah, so as you can see, I have the new spear combos and Death Spin combined with Fire, because I love the Rope Spear stuff, but I also love the Fire Breath. So let's say I do this and leave them at range. I hit them with Fire. It's -21, but it pushes them back. That might even get adjusted a little bit. But if the opponent does a Wake Up 2 and I catch them with a Fire, I'm +20. and then I can kind of enforce a chip situation if they're close to death with the death spin. That's an example of how you'll be able to mix and match with your tournament variations in order to make things better. Which very quickly actually brings me, while we load up Kano, and I'm going to look for some attacks that I know I don't have, that I know are not in anything. We have Biomagnetic Pull, Biomagnetic Pull and Biomagnetic Trap are basically it, so we're just going to do Rip and Ruin the sideboard. And while we load this up, I'm going to very quickly talk about why I brought these two here. Because they're Pokemon. Why are Pokemon on a Mortal Kombat stream? Well, in competitive Pokemon, which I used to do back in Gen 6 and a little bit of Gen 7, you could customize their moves, obviously, is what you wanted to do. But you generally saw competitive players in certain, whatever tier you use, if you're playing with Flareon, or you're playing with Helioptile, Heliolisk, or Mewtwo, you always have moves that you tend to go with. No competitive Pokemon player is in their right mind gonna throw Scratch, Cut, Leer, and Growl on a competitive moveset. No. But they're also not gonna throw things like Hyper Beam, which is 150 base power and 90% accurate, but it has the recharge. And the recharge is a big enough drawback to make them think, let's not do that. Same with Giga Impact, same with Blast Burn, or other attacks that seem good on paper, but they have another weakness, like Inferno, Fire-type move, 100 base power, guaranteed to burn, 50% accurate. Pokemon players do not want coin flips in their moves, so they want things that are reliable, do good damage, or are really good support moves. So that's why you see a lot of things like Leech Seed, Snarl, the Intimidate ability, Earthquake in doubles. These things are important. I know I'm losing viewers, but that's because I just wanted to very quickly bring these guys up, because this is what this reminds me of. More and more, I'm convinced that fighting games and Pokemon are more alike than people give them credit for. Now that we're able to mix and match moves to create the most tournament-viable characters in Mortal Kombat 11, it's going to be just like mixing and matching. Yeah, I used to for a little bit. I never got very far in any tournaments or anything, but I did win $20 from somebody in a Pokemon match, so that's technically competitive, right? But because of these guys, I'm now going to expect Mortal Kombat 11 to almost be like Pokemon competitively, because picking your moves is going to be just as important as picking your characters now. Because, of course, with Helioptile evolves, you want to use the evolved form, so that's the better form, the better character, and then you want to pick the right moves for that character, if that makes any sense. That's why I brought these guys here, because these are actually a really good analogy. Plus, I just think they're cute. Now, let's talk about some of the attacks that are not in anything, which I just realized. I think I actually have to go back to the Jackal, not in Rip and Root. Yeah, I didn't play competitive Pokemon. What carries over? Me personally, I love getting up close and personal. Yeah, and a lot of people like that. They like getting up close and personal, and they like their combos. So, of course, they're going to pick the combo-heavy variations, at least at the start, but maybe you want something that just complements a character's playstyle. For instance, if we take a look at Kano, he has this move called Biomagnetic Pull, which yanks the opponent in. It's +1, so it basically resets the neutral, but look at how close he is. He is within grabbing range, which can be scary for Kano, because guess what? He has a crushing blow on both of his throws, which is terrifying. And of course, he has attacks that are dirty. Now, if he amplifies it, he actually gets a bit of a stun. It's 26 frames, so you can get a 4-2 off, and then end it with this. So let's say we do. What's this string? Okay, so I'm just gonna tag these, and then I should be okay. So let's do. So this is enough to do. Sorry. Okay, so she'll block that. All right. So let's say I do. Yeah. Sorry, I don't play Kano a lot, so. Oh, it doesn't ground the opponent. I thought it did, but all right. Let's try this then. and then you yank him in. But there's another part of this that and leaves the opponent at plus 22, or leaves Kano at plus 22. That's scary. You're sacrificing some damage for that. But if you were to, let's say you have this, and you have Knife Toss. Back 2 is his restand. Back 2? Back 2 doesn't restand. Back 2 doesn't restand. I think, do you maybe mean back 3 or some? I think I know what you mean. Yeah, you're thinking back 1. Sorry, Junior. I know what you mean, but I'm showing off the custom attacks just so that I wanted to see if that also restood. It doesn't, but I was very curious about that. Okay, so now that we have Knife Toss and Tallest Poppy, we can pull the opponent in. Yeah, I got what you mean, Junior. Chat is a little bit behind, so I do apologize for that, but that's just because of the connectivity of multiple peers. But if I do the input for the biomagnetic pull, watch this. I spend the meter, do some damage, because I pull the knife out of her body, and then by consequence pull Sindel towards me. So I can do something like this. I don't think it works on double knife. But as you can see, the knives come out. And that is really nasty because, well... Oh, also it's minus 23 on block. I should know. It does a little extra damage, it looks like. It doesn't look like it does damage over time. But if I yank, the knives do damage as they come out. It's not much, but a little extra damage never hurt nobody. And if I throw one knife into it... Look at that. It's not very practical at the minute, but I can totally see Kano players going nuts with this. So you can do something like... and then go for your attack. So let's try that again. I'll just do that again. That's the basic concept that you have there. And we also have another option that we have to consider for the down back 1, because these moves conflict. These moves, both with the chest thing, will conflict. And that can cause troubles for people who want to really go ham. So next we have Biomagnetic Trap. And what this does is it prevents the opponent from jumping when they're inside of the red field. They're stuck there, they can't jump. But if I throw knives, they will begin taking damage over time. Imagine if we had run. That combo could be trouble. Yeah, that's another thing too, right? If MK11 had MKX run, that'd be pretty sweet. But we don't. So we just have to play with what we have. So let's say I throw both knives and set down a Biomagnetic Trap. Now because she has 2 knives, she's taking double damage, basically, because of the knives inside of her body being pulled down by the Biomagnetic Trap. So on top of disabling jump, which is really bad if you want to try and avoid a crushing blow throw, for example, now imagine you have to deal with damage over time at the end of the round, and then I'm just throwing knives at you. Suddenly, you're going to die from DOT, and there's a brutality attached to that, which we're going to start seeing when competitive comes back, and it's going to be super awesome. Even though I really don't like Kano. Next up, we have Robot Cop, the walking trash can. And he doesn't actually have that much that is not in a tournament variation. But what's important... Oh, he has one thing that is not currently in any tournament variation that I think people are actually going to like RoboCop for. I know, liking RoboCop isn't exactly a popular thing. Oh yeah, yeah. All of the combat pack stuff dropping? Yes, it's going to be so good, especially with the new characters. And I'm actually going to be doing a stream on November 17th, which is supposed to be like a White Lotus Dojo, which was my old series where I went over all the competitive variations. And it's going to be very much the same as that, but I'm also going to have to cover all of their moves. So it's like an enhanced version of that, on top of covering the balance patch that will come with it. So that's going to be really good. Groovy indeed. Snakebite is my go-to for custom. That's good. And Snakebite is really good as well. Plus, it's in Variation 3, so you can use it in a competitive variation if you want. I'll be sure to link y'all in. It's going to be fantastic. Now, instead of the high auto 9, which is RoboCop's combo extender, we have Trick Shot. Oh, Snake Bite and Lumbar Check. I have that in one of his variations too. It is yummy damage. I think I might show that at some point. But, so what does RoboCop do with Trick Shot? He shoots the damn screen! Regardless of his position, he shoots the screen, plays Deadshot, and hits you with a mid-projectile. This thing also has a brutality attached to it, and in case you're wondering how you do that brutality, you have to be some distance away and hold the square button, and hold 1, and then bam. Look at this, look at this. You have a mid-projectile with RoboCop on top of things like his rocket. It's hilarious. I can't wait for people to mess around with Trick Shot. It's going to be really fun to see. And it'll help people have fun with RoboCop, which is something very hard to do. Speaking of robots, we gotta talk about a banned move, because there aren't very many of these, but there are some attacks that will be banned from custom variations. They did confirm this, and I know I'm sad too, because less options is never good. And even then, you could say, amen, nice shot. But here's the thing. I don't agree with their first example being banned. And it's not because it's Terminate, which is one of the best goddamn abilities in the game. If you're wondering what Terminate does, spend both bars of meter, and now I have armor. I have armor for walking and at my attacks the whole time, as long as my arms are red. But when it is gone, I can't cancel my attacks into special. I can't even use special moves, period. Interactable special moves and amplifiers of any kind are disabled. And it costs 1 bar of defensive and offensive gauge. I'm also going to turn the gauge back to normal so you can see... What is it? What is that? Thank you. So that you so you can see how long it takes for you to get gear back, meter back for this thing. And the cooldown lasts basically as long as you are sparking. And if you're sparking, you can't block, or you can block, but you cannot use special moves or anything. And I still haven't gotten all my meter back in that time, which is very important to note. So you can kind of run Terminator out of meter. But here's the thing, right? Okay, armor on literally everything sounds pretty nasty. Because if I'm coming in and I want to hit you, there's nothing stopping me from hitting you, right? What did they literally just introduce with Aftermath? In their very last balance patch, what was the last thing that they introduced? Anybody, any questions? And by the way, the first person to get this right gets to pick the next character. That's going to be our little reward for this stream. What did they introduce in Aftermath that ruins this attack, or ruins this ability from being godlike to very good? I'm genuinely curious to see who gets it right first. And while we wait, I'm just gonna... oh, wait, I'm missing down. That's right. Do I have anything in here? I do have some, but... Armor breaks. Junior is correct. Junior was the first to get it right. And yes, armor breaks. And Sindel has one. And look at that. It gets rid of the armor. Because it gets rid of the armor once it's broken. Which is huge, because if I were to do this, if I were to have this go, I can then activate it again, but remember, now I'm out, now realistically, I'm out of all of my meter. Both my defensive and my offensive meter, gone. So, this is why I don't agree that this armored attack should be banned outright, because okay, it's good, it's very good, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing wrong about having an armored 6-frame okay, or a 7-frame combo start, you know, like this. You see what I mean? All of this being armored, it's very good, but the fact that they introduced armor breaks makes matchup knowledge important. Sindel has an armor break in every variation, so she'll always be able to make the Terminator pay. Because guess what? I can't block. I cannot block while I am in this state. Whereas, if I was out of this state, I mash and block, eventually, I'm blocking. See? So this means that armor breaks are guaranteed to land. I hope that they consider this at the very least, because if they do, hopefully they remember. My mom just got home from work, so probably I'll be back to have an amazing stream. Thanks, Dinah. Always nice to hear from you. Very quickly, we're just going to go to, I think, I can't remember which one has it. I think it was Hasta La Vista that has it. We're going to very quickly just go to the Terminator and talk about his teleport. The TDE. You can delay this and amplify it. So here's what you do with the teleport. See how long I'm gone for? I'm straight out gone, and you cannot hit me because I'm gone. And then here I come. Look at how long it takes for me to recover out of this stuff. Unless I amplify, and now I recover instantly. And I can do stuff like, let's say you backdash and I do this. And then I could do a short hop. And having teleports is going to be really good for one key reason. If you are going to be zoned out by the Terminator, which is, you know, not a bad thing, which is sidebar, I miss OG Portal. Yeah, I know. The thing to note about the teleport is that it helps him deal with his biggest problem, zoners. 31 frame for his projectile, he's going to have trouble. Running at the opponent, sure, that's going to help. But you need to note as well that faster projectiles are still going to catch him when he's running. And this, of course, means that the best way to get out of this situation is just to teleport. And then maybe throw. Now, I've not messed around with this, but I believe you can have Terminate and Running Man on. So you can have an armored run. However, I'm not entirely sure that that is going to stay true by the time the balance patches are done, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Okay, Junior, since you won our little giveaway thingamajig about our first little quiz session, who do you want to cover next? We can't do, everybody in this section and Terminator are completely exempt because we already talked about them. But if you want to skip ahead and talk about Kotal or Raiden or Shang Tsung, please tell me who you want to know about. You won the thing with the quiz after all. I'm just gonna very quickly check something real quick. Boot. Fight me! Sorry, Mauricio, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to discuss what's going to happen. That's the whole point of the stream. We're discussing the variations, the custom variations that are going to be coming to the game. So, I won't be fighting you tonight, but I'll see what I can do for the weekend. All right? How about Cabal? Okay, great. Cabal is a good place to start as any. Now, Cabal has quite a few abilities that are not currently in anything. I'm just gonna make sure that it is what I think it is. Yeah, there's two abilities immediately that come to mind that are not here. So we're gonna start from Road Rash, which, yeah, Road Rash is finally loaded. So we're gonna hop in here and we're gonna play Cabal, because the very first thing that we're gonna do is talk about Slight Gas. And people are already experimenting with the tournament variation, with the custom variations right now, which is great, because it allows combo shenanigans that you've never seen before. And I'm going to give a very basic example with Slight Gas. And Slight Gas is a double jump, which can be canceled into any sort of attack. So you have close, mid, and then far. And what this is good for is allowing for double jumps. So yeah, so let's do this as just an easy example. That was all one bar. And that is simple stuff. That is just one example. you can get combos that are ridiculous with Slight Gas, and it's going to be a real treat to begin to see characters with Slight Gas, people mess around with Slight Gas. There is one more ability that isn't in anything right now that is worth talking about because I think it's going to help. It's going to make Cabal even more terrifying than it already is, and that is the Flash Parry. Now, this is a parry, but it's not like most other parries in the game, where it's more of a counter attack. This is a true parry. See how it kind of resets the situation? And then I can get a combo. So let's say, and because it looks very similar to this, and this one is very good, as you can see here. So, not that great with Cabal immediately, but it does give you the idea. So, it's 12 frames on startup, and it's active for quite a while. You can hold it, too, and then put it away at 33 frames. The thing is that I'm not entirely sure what beats it yet, so I'm going to very quickly go through it. But I'm pretty sure I know what's going to beat it. What's probably going to beat this are projectiles, interactables, jump-ins, the usual fare. So, if I do a mid-attack, it's going to be parried. If I do hair grab, which has range, oh, I actually get parried for that. Okay. What do I have in this variation? Okay, let's try Scream. What's down for? Scream does not get parried, right? Interactables will not get parried. Jump-ins will not get parried. Nothing low, though. Oh, mid. So, lows will not. Lows will not be. Overheads, mids, and highs will, though. And, of course, Fatal Blow will not be parried. Yeah, lows always beat parries, but it's very good to know for sure, because sometimes with custom moves, certain things can go awry. Like remember the Demon Dash, where it doesn't work in the corner as well as it does at mid-screen because of a weird scaling issue. So you never really know. But Fatal Blows will beat the parry just like usual. Now let's go, but that's basically it for Cabal. Those are the abilities that we have not seen yet. Most characters have, I want to say, 80% of their arsenal in their abilities, but there will be a few that will not. Next up, we have my girl, Scarlet. And don't mind the augments, I'm just basically seeing what we have. We have 1, 2, 3... Yeah, we have 3 attacks, and that's basically it. So we're going to just go in there, and we're going to show off these 3 new attacks that Scarlet is going to have access to. A couple of them, I think, are going to be extremely helpful for her. In at least a few ways. Excuse me? But we're going to start off with the one that is ultimately the least helpful, but ultimately the one I wanted in Variation 3 that we were so close to getting. So first off, this variation is all buffs. So we have Red Mist, which is in Variation 3, Crimson Shield, which is in Variation 3, and then Red Rain, which isn't. Now, as you can see, with Red Rain active, I can be in Red Rain. So what does Red Rain do? Well, my normal standing 4 will do 50 damage. In Red Rain, it does 6250. It's a 25% damage boost for Scarlet in the rain. So if you're in the corner, as you can see, you're getting some really good damage. And this helps Scarlet a little bit. I don't know what I'm... Oh, I know what I'm going to end with. So if we do this... Oh, let's just do something easy. We'll just do 2-1-2 into 4-4 into the restand. Now they're restood in the corner and taking damage over time, in this case. Or you would get Tentacle in some situations in order to really hurt the opponent. Why did that not connect? That should be connected. There we go. Look at that. By the time she's able to block, she's taken 40% damage. meterlessly. Whereas in the corner, if you got this... Oh wait, I literally did it with the red rain again. If you did it without the red rain, and I missed my standing 4 like an idiot. I'm not a professional guy, so give me a second. No! 3, 1, 2, 3, kick, restand. It's 32%. The damage increase is nothing to shake a stick at, but it gets better. What if the opponent is in the red rain? They're taking more damage, but that's because Scarlet just does more damage in the red rain, and I can prove it. See? My projectiles are doing more damage. So, what happens to the opponent, you might be wondering? Well, let's say the opponent goes for an uppercut. It's what, oh wait, I'm controlling Sindel. Okay, so let's say Scarlet puts me in the red ring, okay? And I'm gonna look for something that does 5 damage. Okay, so roll Procession. So, let's say it does 50 damage. It does 50 damage. It does 5% damage, right? But if I'm in the rain, I'm dealing 25% less damage. The opponent is going to do less damage in the red rain. So if, let's say I catch Scarlet, trying to backdash after she sets up red rain. That was 11% versus 150. So I do considerably less damage, which means that Scarlet is going to be able to stay alive longer. That is the main thing that I think Scarlet really does well, is survivability. And I forgot to mention that, I forgot to cover the other 2 abilities, so I'll make this really fast. And for this video, and for this part, we're just going to beat up Sub-Zero just for time.
Soul Chamber.
Because I was an idiot and forgot to switch over, so we're going to beat up Sub-Zero just this one time. I say just this one time. You never know how long it's going to work out. So, what else can we give Scarlet? Or what else is Scarlet going to get access to, most likely? Because I'm willing to bet 90% of these are not going to be banned. I can't even really think of too many. I can think of maybe 2 examples, and we already discussed one of them. First off, this move will never be seen again. Blood Ritual is going to be gone. Because I took 80 damage, and Sub-Zero took 40, and I'm left vulnerable as long as I'm holding this. So Variation 1, you will never see this move again, because it's going to be replaced with something. And that leads us directly to Killer Clot, which attaches to the opponent. It doesn't look like it does much, but what it actually does is it disables certain attacks. And you might be thinking, well, okay, that seems pretty general. How wide does it go? Well, if I wanted to... Oh no. I can't cancel into my freeze. Or how about amplify attacks? Sorry. Can't amplify attacks either. Basically, anything that involves a cancel of any kind is gone. You're basically stuck with what you have. So, yes, you'll still be able to throw out attacks and try and smash things, but let's say I wouldn't be able to do stuff like that. But it doesn't really follow as well as you might expect, so I can cancel normal attacks into normal attacks, but I can't cancel special moves. So special move cancels are basically gone, which means no amplifies and no mix-ups, in this case with Sub-Zero. If I have to do this, I literally have to either commit to the string or be left open. And if Scarlet blocks me, I'm going to be in trouble in that scenario. And then we have Retribution, which is the final of the back-forward 4s that she doesn't normally have. She has Cell Siphon in Variation 2 to pull you in and steal some health, the kind of pseudo-trance, and then, which I believe is 1 slot, and then there is Boiling Point, which is big damage, but they conflict with each other, and this is no exception. But this trades damage and healing in the sense that it's more damaging than Cell Siphon, but it's less damaging than Boiling Point. But take note that while it resets the neutral, or is +7, the opponent is restood. So if I do a combo, and I end it with this, I get 31% metered, and they cannot wake up. They are forced to stand, so no wake-up attacks, no wake-up roll, none of that. So they're going to have to watch out. And while Scarlet's Pressure is not the strongest, her crushing blows are surprisingly dangerous if you let her get them with you, if you let her touch you with them. So be mindful of the retribution. It is quite surprising, and you can never count that move out. Next up, we have Noob Cybot, because Junior referenced Cabal. Now, most of the moves that are left are not anything to write home about. They're basically about what you would. You cannot use the double dump culp for the fucking Slurpee cup. I don't follow that metaphor. Could you elaborate, please? I don't understand what you mean by that. I do not understand what you mean by that.
Soul Chamber.
Unless I'm missing something. Use the Slurpee cup. It's a meme. Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know this meme, but Sindel sucks. This Sindel definitely does, my lord. But we're here talking about the fact that it's confirmed that custom variations are going to be allowed in ranked and tournament. Use the double go for the... ha ha ha. I see. I think I see what's going on here. What was I saying? Yeah, so we're taking a look at custom attacks that you can't normally use in Mortal Kombat 11, but now we'll be able to when November 17th drops. First up is Shadow Strike. You're never going to see this still. It needs some love, because it's a low, it's -6, so you might think that beep boo check. One more Mimi thing, and then what is November 17th? That is the... you're delayed. November 17th is the release of the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11 patch, which is going to give us Melina, Rambo, and Rain, and a balance patch which will include allowing custom variations, which is what this stream is about. But Shadow Strike needs a little bit of love. Also, do all the combat characters come out the same day? Melina, Rambo, and Rain, yes, they will all come out the same day. They will all be out on November 17th. But I'm willing to bet that this needs maybe a faster startup or something, because this does nice damage, but it doesn't really have much of a use in the minute. Because Noob Cybot doesn't have any scary overheads, so I don't want to wait that long. Well, I don't pull the strings at NetherRealm. Yeah, I know, but look at it this way. Look at it this way. It's 12 days from now, or 11 days actually, so almost 10. So you basically have 10 days left until the release, and it's going to be exciting, and they're going to release teases to help whoever made that decision. Okay. Easy, cowboy. Alright. So, very quickly, the reason why I came in here, these moves are all in tournament variations, but they're not together. I don't know if this is still going to be allowed, but you can do stuff like this. As a basic example for really crazy combo shenanigans. The question with that is that are they going to stay not conflicting with each other? I don't think they will, or I think they'll just be the way they are. Okay, that joke. Alright, mon ami. I do not know your name, but as fun as the gag is, it is beginning to get old, so I'm going to ask you very nicely to cease. Yeah, sure. Rambo looks good. And I was suitably impressed by Rambo. I was thinking he was just going to be a gun character, but I'm glad that I was wrong. Let's see. So Cage rages and stuff. I'm just looking to see if I'm missing anything, or is it just the stunt double attacks? My boy! Johnny Cage. Yes, indeed. I'm just making sure that I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so only one ability of his is not in any... I'm looking forward to Frost Variations. Man! I love her airdrop, but I hate the other two moves with it. And that's the benefit, Blair, of being able to mess around with the combo variations. I hope they use the inflation... A, for who, and B, what are you talking about?
Sit down. Tarkatan War Camp.
Are you talking about for rain? Because that's about the only thing I can think of. MK9 rain turning you into a giant water balloon. Yeah, but... Yeah, and that's the best thing about this, because the majority of these things are going to be allowed, and the... Oh yeah, the one from MK9. Okay. I'll have to preface this by saying the chat is between 5 and 15 seconds behind me, so if I ask, that's just because your response hasn't gotten to me yet, basically. Maybe they will. We haven't seen the second fatality yet, so that's still a possibility. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, and because you can mix and match tournament legal abilities for sure, you can drop the other two moves and get something else. Want you to be in this just for the one where... Yeah, that fatality is really good. But if you have one of Baraka's brutalities, you basically get that fatality, because Baraka literally does that fatality. Okay, but really quick, we're going to talk about the two new attacks that that Johnny Cage would be able to get, and that is the stunt double attacks. First up, and this attack, by the way, is 2 slots from places, Shadow Kick. Clothesline!
Stand in.
Which is exactly what it looks like. Which, it's stunt doubles coming in and clotheslining. But here's the thing. Listen very carefully to Johnny Cage.
Stand in.
Stunt double kind of is, because he summons his stunt double, but this is an actual genuine stunt double.
Showtime.
Do you hear how he goes with the earpiece?
Stand in.
By that time,
Stand in.
I can...
Showtime.
I may not be able to jump or anything, but once the sound goes off,
Stand in.
the clone's coming, or the stunt double's coming in, and you can't do anything about it. Then there's the stunt double attack. Is it just Stuntman from MK9? I don't think there is a Stuntman in there, but I could be wrong. But then you could call in the Stuntman to perform a sort of cross-up overhead. It takes a while for him to come out, but it's very similar in that regard. Love this stunt double's lariat. Wait till you see what happens when you amplify clothesline.
Showtime.
Boom. Now you're full screen. And while there's a bit of a cooldown, but look at that. Look at that. Now. Oh, that's right. Okay, so my bad. Okay, so you do this, you summon the stunt double, they try, and they're gonna eat some trouble. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about this. The second stunt double hit will not come out. But, yeah, it's a little bit of pushback and they can block it. But stunt doubles amplifies are really fun. It puts the opponent in a full Nelson for 2 full seconds. So I can do this. So I can use this to start combos. Just like that. And end it with flippy kick. So let's try that. Look at that. That was 30%. Granted, it was 2 bars, but still, that was 30% off of the opponent not expecting this. And then I can set up the clothesline. The thing is that on block, +1. And on block, +2. Top 10 characters who could kill Kronika while using only 1% of her power. Oh god. Oh god. Do not. Oh god. My man. I'm sorry. But I can't have you spamming the chat. Gonna have to put you in timeout just for a little bit. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. 5 minutes, and they'll be back. I do apologize for that, but I was trying to focus, and I was not getting anywhere. Actually, Chris, my man, you are now moderator, and so will Dinah when she gets back, or they get back. Sorry. Yeah, you're gonna moderate the chat now. You're gonna help me moderate the chat, just so that you can help with those sorts of things. I do apologize to our friend to our meme lord friend, but I didn't know that he was going to be stopping that countdown, so I just had to put him in timeout for 5 minutes. That's all. But he'll be back. Yeah. Very quickly, we're going to talk about some things that I'm pretty sure we're going to see, and one thing that we are probably not going to. Oh, actually, there's quite a bit here that we could do. So let's just start with Serpentine and work our way from there. Serpentine, whatever. Sindelicious!
Cyberlin Quay Assembly.
I can see the side on full screen. That's nice. Alright. So first up, we're going to very quickly talk about Corpse Drop and these, and actually I think I have these in my first custom variation, so we'll talk about that later. So Corpse Drop is an attack that we already know. It has the mix-up element of dropping low. I don't think this is in any of his tournament variations, but if it is, I apologize. But if you amplify, you get a launcher. So it's minus 17 on block, and it's a mid, but you can combo into this. And the thing to note is that if Shang Tsung copies you, he copies your your moves as well, right? So that includes any moves that you've thrown into your variation. Badass. Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet to see the movie. See some movie stuff. Alright. Yeah, they are wearing here. But this is the cream of the crop. These are all non-tournament legal abilities, and this actually has one of the moves that I think might be banned. But first we're going to start off with the one that isn't. Inferno Barrier. This fire tornado is going to stay in place either in front or behind the opponent. And it's either behind the opponent or until it goes away in front of Shang Tsung. That's basically where you can place it. On Amplify, the tornado moves towards the opponent. So let's say you set this up, and then you can move in. Extending combo. See what I mean? Yeah. Now we have Vial, Inscriptions, and Malignant Sorcery. These attacks are basically weaker versions of Shao Kahn's buff, or were weaker versions. So, Vial Inscriptions increases the damage that the opponent takes by 25%, and Malignant Sorcery reduces the damage that they take by 25%. But you can't loop them. You can't throw them in the same variation. So, you have to keep that in mind. And then we have the one that I think might be banned. There's a reasonable chance that this might be banned, and that is Soul Swap. What is Soul Swap? An unblockable teleport that does 5% damage every time. It's 33 frames of startup, sure. But here's the thing. If Shang Tsung is full screen, let's say sets up Inferno Barrier, he can hit you into it. You could say, Shang's read all our moves. Yeah. But here's the thing. With this teleport, unless the opponent is quick, they can interrupt this thing, and it's unblockable. And it side switches, so your punish might actually get stuffed just by teleporting. So for instance, if I have Sindel, just going for this, look at that. Look at that. Have you played Watch Dogs Legion? Also, Soul Swap looks overpowered as fuck. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, this is why I suspect it might be one of those attacks that'll be banned. Watch. So again, watch this. You can interrupt it, but look at that. I still technically hit her with the unblockable. Can you do some loud and clear combos? Me? Not a lot, but I can essentially do a simplified version. Could you do this mid combo to get out of a combo where the opponent is juggling? No. You cannot use this attack to get out of a combo. But you can... Except on knockdown, it misses. So you can do something like... You can do something like this, and as they get up, you can teleport. Or you can do something like... And then do that, and then it will combo. Or it will kind of combo. It'll scale, but you're still getting caught in a teleport. And remember, the effect is unblockable. You cannot block this. But the thing is, I gotta put that in my Shang variation. Do it while you can. I'm pretty sure this will end up being tournament illegal, even with the custom stuff. But like I said, let's say that I'm using all my move slots for the more ninjas. That's what the extra variations are for. Make another variation and throw this in there. But, like I said, if an opponent's coming in and you read it, look at that. Really easy punish because the opponent basically overcommitted. Especially if they dial it in, thinking that they'll be able to catch you. Can you make unlimited variations for a character? No, you can't. You can only make up to 5. But for all characters except for Kitana, Cetrion, and kind of Shang Tsung, you can't, you can use every single one of their abilities across those 5 variations. The exceptions, the reason why I say the exceptions are like Shang Tsung in them are because Shang Tsung, he has the 4 ninja moves, but they are lumped into one thing that you can program in. Don't worry. I'm getting to some good news. So you can have one variation that just has Shapeshifter's training, which gives you all 4 ninja attacks, basically. So you can have a ninja variation just with that one ability. Then with Cetrion, it's similar because all of her auras are lumped into one ability called Conflux of Elements. So you can use the auras in one variation as long as you're willing to gamble for them and then use all of her other moves. The only character who you cannot use all of her special moves in 5 variations is Kitana. Because she has so many of them, and so many of them are 2 slots, they literally take up more slots than is possible in 5 variations. 5 variations total or 5 custom variations? Right now, there are 3 tournament variations that you can use. While I'm doing this, I'm going to pick Shao Kahn. Big Daddy Shao Kahn. And I'm just going to see, because there's only one attack that is not currently in a tournament variation. There it is. And
Sit down.
but I'll explain it. So right now you can build 5 custom variations in Mortal Kombat 11 that you can use in towers and in unranked combat. But when you go into ranked, you will have 3 tournament variations that will have certain abilities picked out for a theme. So with Kotal Khan, you'll have a command grab, a certain beam, a certain version of the sun beam, and the uppercut. And then another one, you'll have all of the totem, all the cat moves and the blood totem. Those are in his tournament variations. What they're going to be doing in November 17th is let you mess around with those variations to get the variation you want. Yeah, the Retrocade's actually really fun. But you will also be able to basically take your custom variations and play them in ranked and in the tournament mode. So that's going to be super cool. So then K1 choreography. Well, you can't go wrong with that. Here's the move. Here's the one attack that is currently not available in any variation that's for Shao Kahn, and that's it. Air Warhammer. That's literally it. As far as I know, this does not count towards his crushing blow for hammer throw, which you have to land this thing twice in a row. But otherwise, you know. An air projectile. Yeah, no, it's not that bad. It's just that it isn't in anything. So that's the only one. Everything else is in the tournament variation, so you have to mix and match from those. Also, what moves would you use for an MK9 Shao Kahn variation?
Shao Kahn.
Okay, so MK9 Shao Kahn, he had armor and he had taunts, right? So the taunts are mandatory for an MK9 Shao Kahn. I love the gear. I have got the gear and outfit correctly. Just can't figure out which moves. Okay, so I'll tell you right now. Taunt, that's a must. Taunt is a must. And Hammer Throw is a must because Hammer Throw is an ability that you have to equip, and he has that in MK9. And I'm trying to think, but but that is basically it off the top of my head. You just need the Hammer Throw and the taunts, and then throw whatever you want. Spear's available off the cuff. It's a default move. But if you want to throw in something, shoulder charge is the default. Not the spear charge. Spear charge is a replacement. So shoulder charge is the default. Taunt and laugh are the same move. Yes, they're lumped together in one ability. It's called, I believe, Ridicule. So you're gonna look for Ridicule, the spirit mouth thing. Oh, the Dark Priest. Sure, you can do that. So what I would do is I would do Dark Priest, Ridicule, and where is the Hammer Throw? I think it's in this one. Yeah, so you have... Yeah, okay, so if you have Dark Priest, Ridicule, and Wrathhammer, you should have a good Shao Kahn variation. Let's move on to Sonia Blade, because Sonia Blade is going to be another really quick one, because, fun fact, she also only has one ability that is not in any tournament variations, but I think is kind of hilarious. And the unfortunate... Queen OG! Yes. I'm just happy I got his MK9 helmet. Yeah, it's one of his better helmets. So really quick, we're just going to talk about Soaring General. It's the only attack Sonya has that is not in any tournament variations. And it's a flying kick, which doesn't have full screen range, but it's basically it's kind of like her square wave in MK1. But if you amplify it, sure. I mean, the stages really don't matter, so feel free to request whatever stage you want. But as you can see, look at that. Now you got real good damage, and that's basically all that Soaring General is. There isn't a brutality attached to it, but he's nice. He's nice. Ah, it's beautiful. I know it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Baraka.
Your boy Baraka. He has enough. He is very much like Scorpion. And that's not a KB. Yeah, I know! Alright, so here's the fun thing, right? He has enough moves of a certain theme to fit into a variation, but
Goro's lair.
They are not in his variation 3. They chose to go with the Baraka Zerker, with the Baraka Zerker and all of that, and it's really good. You know, that actually wouldn't have been a bad stage fatality, but I guess you couldn't, well, you couldn't really do it if Goro was on the field, but then again, you can't fatality Goro in MK9 anyway. So, all of the moves are tied to this attack, Warbanner Bash, which plants the flag. And if you hit them with this, it's minus 19 on block, but it plants the flag. It's a way to attack and plant the flag at the same time. Wallop, boom. And you have your buff. With the War Flag... That's why you should take a look at the into custom variations sometime. Now if you have Warbanner Charge, you charge forward doing 12% damage, you're armored, and you get to replant the flag to reset the timer. But if you're blocked, Baraka's minus 8 and he loses the flag. But then you have Staked, which is a whole other animal. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's this, isn't it? Or hold on. It's something like that, ain't it? But check this out. Here's the thing with Staked. Oops. It's not safe, it looks like. Here, I'm gonna have Sindel jump in just to make things easier. Fire indeed. Look at this. I got to 229 before it hurts. But yeah, if the opponent comes in at you and you have this, say goodbye to 21% of their health. I feel like that damage is going to get reduced, though. Because, come on, that is the most amount of damage in a single attack in Mortal Kombat 11, period. Not counting fatal blows, raw damage, and besides crushing blows, this is where the damage is. But here's the thing. If the opponent is blocking... Plus... Oh, shit! And it's +6 on block? That's gonna get dialed down. But still, very, very strong. Very strong. How much would the Crushing Blow version do? There is no Crushing Blow attached to Staked. So there is no no Crushing Blow attached to it.
Liu Kang.
We don't have to talk about Liu Kang. And we don't have to talk about Collector either, because they both have all of their moves in their tournament variations. So we can move on to Aaron Black, who has, I think, only 2 attacks right now that aren't in any tournament variations. Yeah, and that's Up and Down Peacemaker.
Sit down.
How do you get the Fire God Liu Kang skin? Also, I'm an Aaron main. Nice. You'll like this, then. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know you get versions of it from beating the Aftermath story. But I think you also get it either for beating the entirety of the Mortal Kombat 11 story mode, or by beating the Gauntlet. It's one of those two. It's one of those two, I'm pretty sure. But now let's talk about one of my favorite newcomers, Aaron fucking Black. Yeah, now he gets some fun stuff. Down Peacemaker. 15 frames. This is actually confirmed to be getting slowed down. I think both of these are going to get slowed down a little bit, because Aaron Black generally has fairly fast projectiles. If you know what I mean. But Up and Down Peacemaker, they serve a purpose. Back up and hit them with the mid, or if the opponent decides to jump in, snipe them out of the air and put them back on the ground. Now the thing is, -7 on block with all of that pushback. It's safe. So if you accidentally dial this string in, which is -7, also has similar pushback. So let's try -3. Oh, let's try this. So you know this string. We all know this string. It's -15 on block. And you want to save yourself? Just do this. Cancel into this, and look, we're -5 with all this pushback. So Aaron Black with this is going to become very safe, unless they adjust it so that he isn't safe for doing that. But regardless, it's one of those attacks that you have to keep an eye on. Geras. Chun-Li's best waifu for... So put her in MK... You have to get Street Fighter's permission. And I don't think... does Aaron Black still have his pugilist combo from X? Yeah, Scarlet's really good. Are you talking about the one where you just kind of beat the crap out of somebody? Punch, 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 punch? Is that the one that you're thinking of, or do you remember the inputs for that one from Mortal Kombat X? Because I don't remember what it is. Oh shit! I just realized this is gonna be really fun for Geras. Okay, so we got Reawakened and Lost of Spare Time and Shifting Sands.
Sit down.
Well, they don't necessarily fight. It's more so that they just don't talk to each other. We're at 75 minutes, and we're basically halfway through the cast. So we're making pretty good time. I'm probably just going to take a very quick water break eventually. But right now, we get to talk about these two moves. And one more that is not in any tournament variation so far, that I suspect might be banned as well. Honestly, I can see like Heihachi. Well, again, the thing about getting the guest characters in Mortal Kombat 11 is that you have to have the characters be comfortable being able to have this happen to them. And some companies aren't going to want to see their characters having their jaws broken or their leg broken or their head torn off. So if the companies don't want to play along, then they won't. So exactly. So and that's why it ended up being. But of course, it's fine to kill the Joker. Well, because the Joker is one fucked up son of a bitch. And I think it was more so that DC had overall control, and now that NetherRealm is under their umbrella and working out better. Oh, yeah. Gears is a bath. It took some time for me to warm up to him. I feel that. But back to the abilities. First up is Shifting Sands. This sets a ground trap that the opponent has to try and navigate out of. And if they try and jump, let's say I set this up so she pulls back. It's not easy with the jumps, but she can potentially get out of there by jumping. And walking is going to be difficult for her. And this is really good for spacing. And pairs up really well with Lost and Spare Time. Far, medium, never remember. Well, the way I remember it is it's kind of based off of their input. So you want it close, hold towards. If you want it far, hold away. And if you want full screen, just press up because it goes all the way. Is the way I remember it. But with Lost and Spare Time, you can. There's no timer in practice mode, but I can show you what the animation looks like. What these moves do is that they alter the in-game clock. So Lost Time will shave 30 seconds off of the in-game clock, and Spare Time will add 30 seconds to the in-game clock. Unfortunately, I don't know if this move will not be banned because messing with the game clock might be too scary, but I think it should be rendered fine, personally. I personally think it should be rendered just fine. And the final thing is Reawakened. I don't know if I can show it off. Can only be performed if health is at or below 30%. The opponent only needs to win one more round. There we go. So, now that that's active, if Geras... Too busy to kill off their own characters and something that's not even canon. That's not even canon to the... I think it'll get banned because egos might get bruised if folks lose to Geras mains. I genuinely don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think Reawakened is going to be. Because a resurrection in general is terrifying. Especially since if he resurrects, he may lose all of his bar, but he won't lose his fatal blow. And in a close round, that can make all the difference. Because say you get dominated for most of the first 2 rounds, then you win the second round, and then you win the third round out of that. I feel like that might be a little bit too much. Next up, we have Cetrion, and I don't think there's anything missing. Also, Gears is... yeah, with every nerf, he keeps getting stronger. But I don't think Cetrion has anything that isn't in the tournament variation. So we're going to move on to...
Fujin.
Also Q from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. It's my favorite Street Fighter character. Can't go wrong with Q. Wind Push, Air Slam, Deadly Winds... Just trying to see... Oh, this one has most of them. Because all of the other ones should be in tournament variations in some form or another. Yeah. So... Oh, and Jetstream. So we'll go Crossbow Killer, and then we'll talk about the rest. So first up is Crossbow Killer. And Caleb in the story. With every death, I get stronger. Yeah. How I miss this long-haired wind god bastard. Ain't it the truth? Every shitty NRS decision I get. And they keep trying to nerf him too. Like, it was clear that they wanted the sand trap to be the armor break because they thought, oh, breakaway. They're gonna be in the air. There's no way that they're... Oh, wait a minute. They can combo into it from breakaway. Shit! Alright, so first off, the two abilities that are not in any combo variation start off with Pressure Bomb, which is a little pop-up. And can help set up pressure. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, and there's a close version, too. That explodes a little sooner. See how it kind of helps your block situation? Let's try this. There. And it helps keep you safe on block. And then you can also amplify it to make it travel further and launch the opponent. So, there we go. Not a bad. It doesn't have the greatest range, but it helps control space. So it actually makes for a half-decent zoning. And it might even get better. This might be one of those moves that is a stealth hit on its own, and then it gets really strong, and all of a sudden Pressure Bomb's broken, and everybody needs to know. And then we have Turbulence, which creates a massive air over the opponent's heads. And as you can see, if I make Shao Kahn try for his Hammer Slammer, if I set this up, see how he's pushed back by the wind? Anytime an opponent's feet leave the ground, their movement becomes restrained. So let's try it from close version. Still can't get hit. Now I got hit. But still, you can restrict their air movement this way. And then finally, we have to talk about what I have in Variation 1, because, in my Variation 1, Storm Rider, because it's the last thing that isn't in any tournament variations. That it is. Then you have the Jetstream buff. So what does Jetstream do? Well, it buffs certain attacks. Now I'm active. My uppercut does more damage. Right? This string has an extra hit in the middle that knocks down. Nice Doors reference. I don't know. I do not know what you mean, but I'm glad that you got a reference out of it. Let's see. Let's see if any of these can be affected by Jetstream. It's hard to see, but... that doesn't have it. How about... oh. That doesn't have anything. I'm trying to find the attacks that might be affected by it, but I don't think it's too many of them. This. Oh, okay. So, yeah, there we go. So on block, this string normally is -4. But with the Jetstream on, it's -5 with a little more pushback, and gives you time to... oh, Riders on the Storm. Oh, that's right! I know the Doors. It's just I didn't know what the reference was. I didn't mean for it to be a Doors reference, but, I mean, it works in the end, right? Collector we can skip because we've already talked about her abilities. And we don't need to go into another variation because only one variation really has something that I can show. The thing is, however, she has an ability that could be banned called Mother Bug, where she can resurrect if she was going to lose the fight and become extremely annoying because she becomes Mother Bug, moves around the whole screen and fires projectiles and bops you. But it goes down to one hit, so it might actually be allowable, but at the same time it might not be. But we're here to talk about something different. Collector is another of my fatality dummies. Yeah, he's not great. But very quickly, we're going to show off Super Swarm, which costs a bar meter to use at all times. So what does it do? Every hit that I land on Devora, look at every hit I land on Devora, if she has the buff active, I get hit by. So in that combo that did about 30%, I took almost four hits. So she activates it again. Oh, actually, I forgot it's more because Shao Kahn has 1050 health. So I do it again. Okay, so that was 30% on her end, but I took almost 100 points of damage, which would be approximate, which for Shao Kahn would be just over 10% damage. Yes, I am. Okie doke. That's my dad, who was asking me about that. That's a bit of a sacrifice for Devora players. Yeah, it is 1 bar of meter, but here's the thing. Let's suppose that, again, Devora does that, and I'm actually going to record a second thing for Devora. So let's say, just as an example, just to demonstrate, let's say she pops this buff, and I go for this, and then she attacks. Now look at that. Now she has the lead. That's the thing about that attack, is you can use it if you have the life lead and you know that you're potentially going to try and get killed. And especially if the opponent doesn't have Fatal Blow. Just pop Super Swarm and then they go for an attack and it's going to hurt.
Kitana.
Oh god, here comes the longest part of the video. Kitana has almost too much. She has so many abilities that she literally ends up having more abilities than variation slots. It's stupid. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to bounce around across all of the variations because they all have things that can work in tournament variations that they normally can't. And it's going to be fucking hilarious. So first up, in Jared's Blood, I'm playing as Shao Kahn. There we go. Let's see. Low Fan Toss is already in a variation. Piercing Dagger is not, and Dancing Fans. These are not, and these are awful. So we're going to start from Piercing Dagger. It's a downward fan toss just like her normal fan toss, but in the air. In fact, I think it actually replaces it. Wait. Yeah. It might be because of Dancing Fans, but you have a Piercing Dagger, which does that. Then you have Dancing Fans. Close, mid, far. But man, NRS always gives Kitana an arsenal. Even if the moves aren't that good, like, look at Dancing Fans here. This is not a good move. Because watch this. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. Now I hit you. And on Amplify, yes, I get a combo, but if you didn't expect it, which is very likely, considering. You don't exactly have a whole lot of time to get something out of it. It's a little bit dumb. Let's move on to Royal Siren, because I'm pretty sure this one, has stuff going on. I think this one has something that is unique. I'm not too sure. Edenian Razors, Fan Flutter, and Edenian Twist. Actually, she does not. This is the only one that doesn't have a unique gimmick. It's just scrambled variation, basically. This one I know does, though, because you guys remember Ground War, right? It's in Variation 1, and it lets Kitana use Square Wave on the ground. Oof. Most of those moves are. But check this out. Now, with Ground War, you can actually use Edenian Twist on the ground as well as in the air. And it still has that Crushing Blow, which punishes a low and ducking attack, which is good because look, she hops into the air to do it. Which is really nice. And then we have Variation 4, Dark Reflection. which is going to have more of her fun moves that you don't see in her tournament variations because she has so goddamn many. Yeah. Welcome to Upward Fan Toss and Retreating and Advancing Fan Flutter. You have look at the aerial space this controls. You are not jumping in on Katana, especially if she spends the meter. Look at that. Are you seriously gonna try and jump in on Katana? Woo! That fan went flying. Watch the far right. And then we have Retreating and Advancing Fan Flutter. So we have a way to back up and a way to advance from the air. Very cool stuff. And I'm only sure. I mean, if you're a newbie, maybe. I mean, just don't jump. That's the only thing, right? Just don't jump. But because of how much airspace that controls, if you want to jump, you be in trouble. And yes, I'm quoting Jar Jar Binks. Shut up. And then we have a teleport. Edenian Fae. She teleports straight into the air and has a few attacks. First up, we have Arcing Sign, which, as you can see, knocks the opponent down and does lots of damage for a projectile. And then we have versions of the Dark Plunge, which, as you can see, the close one has less range but recovers quickly. Far Dark Plunge takes a lot longer to recover. It's -3 on hit? What? What? Look at the frame data. She's -3 on hit. -4 on hit. Hold on. Let's try it from, like, close range. -1. Okay. That's hilarious that she's -4 on hit. On block, it's gonna be really dumb. So that's probably gonna get tweaked to at least match, so it's not like, oh, I'm minus because I landed a hit. That's rude. Then there's Raiden. And Raiden, right off the cuff, has some really cool moves that you never see because of how they are split up. And I think I actually have all of the new ones lumped into Heihachi, so let's go from there. Normally I would have a time limit of about 2 hours, but I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay if I go quick. Yeah. Ray dude! Ray dude! By the way, feel free to share this stream once it is finished to all of your friends, because this is important shit! Okay, so, Raiden. The very first move that we need to talk about is also one of the moves that got changed. Super Bolt. Now, the thing is that the attack is -27 on hit, regardless. But, now, if you charge Super Bolt, at least for a little bit, on block, it'll become -7 with more pushback. So it becomes safe if you charge it. Super Bolt replaces Electric Fly, but it at least makes sense to replace it, unlike the Joe push. Because look, Raiden's coming in and is doing a mid. He can't do it in the air, and he doesn't have the same range, but look at this. More damage, and this has a fairly easy crushing blow. If this counters or punishes when fully charged, that's fatal blow damage for a punish. That's really nice. And, of course, you can still cancel it. Then we have Rolling Thunder, which I'm going to tag alongside Lightning Storm, because Lightning Storm has a lot of stuff. So first up is Rolling Thunder. Or next up is Rolling Thunder. It's a rolling carpet of lightning that does a little bit of damage every time it hits the opponent. So if you throw, you can throw the opponent and get a little bit of extra damage. Or, let's say, we do this, and then get more damage. On Amplify, it travels further, and does the same sort of thing. It just travels further, so it lasts a little bit longer. I hope that we get a slow version of this where the cloud doesn't move as fast, because I think that would be really cool to have. And then we have Lightning Storm. Raiden flies in as a stance. This conflicts with the teleport and has a slow version, where he doesn't travel quite as far. And then he has options out of it. Concentrated Strike, Straight Strike, and the almighty Electric Stomp. To quote Sir Sean Connery, he's absolutely shocking. This is going to be a bad accent, and I do apologize to Mr. Sean Connery, but absolutely shocking. Anyhow, you can also cancel it by pressing 4, and if you amplify it, you get 3 lightning bolts. You can only amplify it once per, but look at that damage. For basically teleporting into the air and then amplifying. It's pretty swanky, if I may say so myself. And that's basically it for Raiden. And next we have Cassie Cage. Cassie Cage doesn't have too much that isn't changed. Let's see, Energy Burst. Flipping Out, we're probably not ever going to see either. Bullet Barrage, Bitch and Bubble, and Control. Alright, so we're going to start from Queen Bee and work our way up. So where's Shao Kahn?
Shao Kahn. Cyberling Quay Assembly.
So, what does Cassie Cage get when she chooses certain variations from Custom Combat now? She gets quite a bit, actually. First up, we're gonna start off with Bitch and Bubble. It's a damage over time thing. Yeah, I know, but what are you gonna do? Look at that damage. Almost 20% because you got thrown. That's the power of the Bitch and Bubble, baby. It's very, very good. And then we have Gotham Siren, which has a new trick. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one. I know I'm missing a move, but I don't remember which one. Oh yeah, it's in here. So we have Control BLB 118. And we have the BLB Bullet Ricochet. So, we can go into this stance and cancel. Takes a little while, but you can see that. And then I can control the drone. Becomes a little guy, I just fly around. I'm stuck in this state for quite a while, but I can do stuff like, let's start with Fun Phaser. Of almost instant beam that can really cover the ground. And then we have Wub Wub Wub, which is a short-range shock attack that knocks the opponent down. Then we have Droppin' Balls, which is a bomb drop. But here's the thing. If I get in this stance and start moving, look at this. I can actually drop bombs with an arc, just like a little bombing run. Watch this. It takes a little while for it to recover. And I just noticed, I can hide the drone, hide it up here. Hang on, one of these has to work. Hold on. I can do this. And then I can cover my ass if the opponent tries to teleport. That's hilarious. I just noticed that. And then we have the Bullet Ricochet, which is kind of a faster version of the burst. And this is a mid-projectile for Cassie, because normally these guns are high. And like other bullet attacks, this can be amplified by green guns. So that's basically what we have for Cassie Cage. So I think that's going to make for some really fun things. Frost! Where was that Frost main?
Frost.
Where was that Frost main? We have some moves we definitely need to talk about. They're in variation 3 and 4, so we're going to just start from here. Then we go Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn.
And into the Lost Hive of the Kite. So first we need to start with one of these 2-slot abilities that will probably stay 2-slot because it's only fair. And another move that is either going to get adjusted or have 1 slot removed because otherwise it's absolutely terrible for 2 slots. So right now we're going to start with Core Trap. It costs 1 offensive bar to use, but it creates this. doesn't look like much on the surface. Okay, good to see that you're still here, Blair. I haven't heard from you in a little bit. Boom. Throw this up. Now the opponent, if they touch the sides, they will freeze and take damage over time. So let's say we do the close quarter round. And let's say I go for a throw. Look at that. That was 25% because of 2 throws. Now if I do this, oops, a little too early, but I kind of spoiled the surprise. Let's try the far version. Oh, that's wicked, yeah! And then if I do this, and they fail the throw attack, I can go in for a crushing blow throw! Look at that, 40% for 1 bar shenanigans because you didn't attack a throw correctly. Look at that! Look at that shit! That's awesome! Yeah, that is awesome. Normally, I don't like moves that, like, make you drop and fall because it looks weird. I just wish there was, like, a whoa animation instead. But, yeah, that looks cool. And then we have Ice Auger. If this projectile hits from maximum range, it becomes a potential combo starter, but maximum range is here. What are you gonna hit with this? Not a whole lot. So it should cut back in the slot or maybe change the crushing blow because look at the range. It stops there, and then we can amplify this. Wait, no, this isn't it. Where's, Burrowing Auger. This is what's not in here. Sorry. And I think it's Burrowing Auger as well. It doesn't hit on its own. This will be so great. Yeah. I don't know why this needs some adjusting, I think. At least you can, like, adjust it. Okay, yeah, I'll try that. I'm sure as a frostbane you're getting ideas that I'm not seeing because I'm not a frostbane, but yeah, let's try that. That's just a super basic example. I wanted to have a complete combo to show you guys what I mean by showing off some things that if I say a concept, I want to show you what I mean. Next is Night Wolf. I said Night Wolf, Fujin. I said Night Wolf. So, fortunately, all of those variation moves that we don't see are going to be right available are going to be able to be shown back-to-back. Variation 1, 2, and 3 all have the things that we're going to talk about. And we're going to start with Variation 1.
Shao Kahn.
And we're going to go to the Colosseum Beast pack.
Beast
because I love my beasts, and this theme is perfect for that. One of my top faves in 9. One of my top faves, period. I love Night Wolf. I love Night Wolf. So, let us see what's up. I don't know why I turned into a squid. So, first up, we have Spirit of Como and Spirit of Hana. Now, Spirit of Como is a beast buff like Spirit of Kiba. Spirit of Kiba, by the way, buffs damage by 15% on its own, and amplified is 25%. So, get some damage going. Spirit of Como does basically the opposite, where see this combo here? Does 27%, right? Now with Spirit of Como applied, I only took 22%. And if I amplify, I took 180. So that's, I think it goes 25 then 33, but for Nightwolf, I'm not actually 100% sure. So that'll be a good way to check it. Okay, so it's 20%, and then it becomes 33%. Yeah. So that's what Spirit of Como is really good for. Then there's Spirit of Hana, which for the longest time we didn't know what this did, but now we know. So I'm going to show you. So first off, with Spirit Tracks, which I don't have any variation with Hana equipped with Spirit Tracks, but with the roll attack, it becomes invincible for 10 frames of its 16 frame startup. So for the entirety of the roll. For the shoulder charge, it's something different, and I'm going to show you what that is. Tackle, tackle, right? It takes exactly 2 tackles to reach full screen. Now with Spirit of Hana, hello! you get an extra 50% more range, meaning full screen crushing blow shenanigans. So that's what that does for shoulder charge. So Spirit of Hana is a deceptively good buff. Especially since you can shoulder charge from a lot farther back. Well, the stream is actually not as slow as I expected. Sorry. Itchy sides! Itchy sides! And then we have... What do we have? Oh, Moonfall and the original Spirit Tracks. Okay, so Moonfall is... think about Takeda's sword toss in Mortal Kombat X. Toss it down, recall it, and then if you press up 2, you recall it for an attack. So if you do, let's say you do this, and then you can end your combo like that. So you can end your combo in a knockdown, which would be scary. And you can even do the close version. Yeah, close, mid, and far. And call it back. Then we have Spirit Tracks, which you know what Spirit Tracks is. It's in Variation 3. But you can also take away the Ancestral Hunter, which is the launch amplify, and get the knockback amplify, which works really well for zoning. And speaking of zoning... Oh, you know what that means too, is that you can put the armor break on literally any variation as well. So you can take the command grab and slap it with the tomahawk swing, and then boom, you have a launcher, and then you have a crushing blow as well from the command grab. I feel like this is going to be really good. Lightning Arrow, we know. I just wanted to bring it up just because I love Lightning Arrow. But Hana's Wrath, this conflicts with Hana's Gift, where so you can't have all the beast buffs in one variation, but you can send Hana to attack. And it's a projectile. And while they're sparking, you can't use Hana again. But if you, let's say, do this... And look at that, it actually comboed at full screen. But you might be thinking, okay, but what does Hana's Wrath do? Well, now you won't be able to spend any meter while you have the sparking. So this helps Nightwolf a lot because Lightning Arrow knocks down, you can try and roll, but if you get hit by it, you're going to be in trouble. Now, there's actually one more I completely forgot to bring up. So we're going to all 4 variations because this is all kinds of fun. And actually, I wonder, do we have the other option? Yes, we do. So we actually have 2 more. Nightwolf has a lot that isn't in a tournament variation, but... trust me, what he has is very nice. So next up is Lunar Orbit. This conflicts with Moonfall, and it's exactly what you would expect by looking at the animation. Throw a tomahawk up, and hit the opponent. So we do the close version, and as you can see, it combos. But here's the thing. Next is Ancestral Light, which is, it's a mid, but look at this thing. On Amplify! Oh, I need you to stop launching. Look at that, it knocks down. And it traps. This is important. Not very many attacks actually trap. I don't know if it'll keep its tracking option, but bada bang, bada boom. Now, remember how Lunar Orbit can start combos? Oh, that's right, it doesn't combo into it. Oops. But if you don't expect the Amplify, you're going to get clobbered. So that is those are all of Nightwolf's abilities that aren't in any random variations for now. And I just realized something. Oh wait, we're not done yet. We're not quite there yet. We have a handful of characters left.
Jax.
Jax, I don't think has anything that we're missing except for maybe, let me see. Buckshot. Yeah, just Buckshot. So, and you know what? Just for the sake of time, I'm gonna do what I probably should have done at the beginning of the stream and just double up on characters. So, oh no. Oh no. I hope they thought this through. Hold on.
Special forces desert.
Hang on a sec. Okay, so I'm gonna do what I should have done and doubled up so that I wouldn't have spent over 2 hours. I would have spent probably closer to an hour and a half. Oops. So, real quick, we have Buckshot. It replaces the grenade. It's nothing crazy. Might get more range. It doesn't have an amplify either, but it knocks down. So it's not terrible. Jackie has quite a few things that we can ring up. We have the rockets. Jax is another favorite, personal favorite one. I gotta get really dirty. Yeah, because Jax fucking hurts, dude. And then, okay, this is the one I'm really worried about because, holy shit, there's a move. So we know about the leg break and the arm break and the lethal clinch, but then there's fucking hyper knee. Now, what does hyper knee do? Well, because this is going to be punishable, I'm going to set the opponent to auto normal. Like, this is going to be punishable. Instead of -7. It's -12 in the patch, at least. Whereas the knee is -17, okay? But this attack is mid, whereas this is a high. And furthermore, this has a crushing blow. With 2 different requirements. You either have to get an 8-hit combo. That's setting 1, so... Which, as you can see for Jackie, means stupid damage, and that's not even optimal because I didn't get a 3rd knee in there or do the optimal things or whatever. Jackie will be able to get over 50% with this thing. But that's not all, folks. If she breaks armor with this attack, then she gets it. Yes, this attack breaks armor. Jackie's going to be the 2nd character in Mortal Kombat 11's history to have 2 armor breaks available to her. Shao Kahn has 3, and nobody else has more than 1. So, and it's a really good armor break, so watch out for that. And I just realized that it's not going to end up nice and even, so how about we just double up on the Lao for now, because I'm pretty sure Lao has... Yeah, Buzzsaw and Possessed Hat, and then we have Orbiting Hat and Omega Hat. Okay, so we're gonna do this one, and then just for double up's sake, we're gonna do Hat Possession and Omega Hat.
The hourglass.
Just so that we can cover 2 variations in one fell swoop, and then further speed things up, because I want to finish this up real quick. It's almost 2 hours long, and that's usually my cutoff for streams. So we'll start with player 1, and we're going to talk about Possessed Hat and Buzzsaw. So Possessed Hat throws a hat at this funky angle. Now, sometimes it'll miss at full screen, but because it hits twice, no character will be able to reflect this thing. So it'll be a really nice zoning tool. Then we have Buzzsaw, which is mid. And you can control where it goes before you release it. And then you can amplify it. And then further delay it. Okay, hold on, let's try this. Oh, I can't do it at point blank range. Oh, look at that, you can mess with the opponent that way. Now let's go to our 2nd variation, which has Hat Possession, which orbits the opponent. But here's the thing. I also gave it the Omega Hat, because that is an ability that requires either Orbiting Hat or Hat Possession. You can amplify it to put 2 hats orbiting the opponent, or you can do this. Or is that amplified part of that? I think that Orbit is actually part of that. But look at that. Oh, I have Breakaway on. See what I mean? The opponent has to watch it, otherwise they're going to get hit. Now we can move on to our regularly scheduled stream shenanigans. Kotal Khan! I'm so happy for this, I just realized, because you know what this means? I don't have to use Tonatia I don't have to use God Ray anymore. I can drop that shit for whatever else I want. Yay! Fuck God Ray, I hate this move. Hopefully they give it a reason to exist, otherwise I'm not gonna bother. I think the only thing that's really missing is a version of the Discus Toss and... Yeah, a version of the Discus Toss and one of the totems. So... I'm going to do... Actually, Giak Talk is in the same variation as the thing. And Tonatia Burst. Okay. God Ray is so useless.
Sit down.
I know. I know. I fucking know. It is awful. It is awful. If it had an amplify, at least I would use it. But it is strictly inferior to the base form, which is why I love Variation 2 and 3 so much. Okay, so Tonatia's son here has... I am playing a Sindel. Actually, you know what? Let's play a Sindel. Let's get this over with. So we have Bellowing Banshee, some Regal Presence attacks, and that's basically it for now, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one other thing that I'm missing. No, I'm not. So first up is Bellowing Banshee, a 10% overhead that knocks down. But here's the thing. If I were to do this, I'm minus 27, but I actually kind of fall to the ground, and it's gonna make things harder. You would have had the character do this, but dude, it's literally just so unnecessary. I know. And here is the thing. When we get to Kotal Khan, you're gonna see an option that would have worked even better, because then he would always have had totems. Anyways, Regal Presence. We know this attack. Normally, it's just used for aerial mobility, and that's it. It's good for air mobility, sure, but this is a shadow of its former self. Like, if you have Star Screamer. Now imagine this with, I don't think I have it in this variation, but now imagine this with the low Star Screamer. You can turn Sindel back into a zoner, which is really cool. And then we have Scream, which is air to air. And you can catch opponents with this. I don't believe it has a crushing blow. It does not. And then we have Queen's Dominion. This fucking thing. I've seen corner combos with this thing, and I don't think I'm going to be able to pull them off. But I'm going to try, just for the videos. So, let's try. Yeah, if we start with this... Okay, so I'll just do a basic example just to show you what I mean. I keep forgetting this one more. And I have to do damage 3. And you can, if you launch the opponent right, you can absolutely get things like crazy extensions of combos, and this becomes terrifying, and I'm very curious as to why they didn't let this happen in the first place. But now we get to move on to Tonatia's son, which is what I'm tentatively calling this variation, which has all sorts of cool stuff. Let's start off with the Chikatok Totem. This buffs stamina regeneration, and I'm going to show them what I mean. I'm going to need a move that amplifies. Oh, I know. I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to do Tonatia Burst, which we'll talk about later. Then I can set up this, watch my bar, watch my bar, watch my bar! Look at how fast the stamina regenerates, as opposed to if I burn both of my bars, how long it takes to actually regenerate. This is the stamina totem. So I can set this up, do this, and do this. Set the sun out, and then I can get my bar back, and then go for a throw, and look, my bar's basically almost back by the time I finish the throw. It's hilarious. And then we have the second Geikame disc amplified, God Ray. which is a mid projectile that leaves the opponent standing. And this has a crushing blow. A really good one. If you stack 3 totems and then land the God Ray's buff, Combo City. Look at that. It's a combo starting projectile. And you might think, okay, well that's from like mid-screen and it's really slow. Are you really going to be able to combo into somebody from full screen? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me! That comboed! That comboed from full screen. Super nice. And then we have Tonatia Burst, which is really just there to stop people from jumping over you. But on Amplify, it becomes a proximity attack that knocks down. So it's really good for kind of keeping the distance. Now we get to move on to our penultimate pair of pugilists. Our pugilist penultimate pair, Triple P. Shiva, which, who I'm not actually entirely sure has any moves that are not in any tournament variations. Hold on a minute. So we have the shield stuff, the quick motion sag, tremors, and dragon, and yeah, Shiva doesn't have anything in this regard. Ooh, thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
That's pizza here. Gonna have that when we finish the stream. So we're gonna actually skip Shiva and go right into Jade, who has Delia's Dance. And that's it. Okay, fine. I can live with that. I guess if we doubled up with Sindel, we can double up with Spawn. So we have Delia's Dance, and we have Sub-Zero with Rising Ice. You guys are going to freaking love Rising Ice and hate Ground Ice. But we're going to start with Rising Ice first. But we're also going to start with Jade, I think, because I think that's how we ended it. See. Open up. It's like a Christmas present, but has food. Ooh, nice. Yeah, save that for later. So, Delia's Dance. What is this thing? Well, it replaces Deadly Butterfly and is a low, and it knocks down, leaving Jade plus 13. The attack itself is minus 13, and Jade is plus 8 on the restand. So it's nothing to write home about, but but there's a brutality attached to this, so you're going to probably be seeing it in at least a few variations. Now for variation 2, and we're going to have to go to the corner for this one, but Rising Ice. So what is this attack? Well, on its own, nothing to write home about. It's a way to end a combo, and it hits on both sides. But on Amplify, see where this is going? Now let's try something like... Oh, damn it, I mistimed it. But as you can see, I can do my Ice Ball, down back, do my Rising Ice. And look at that damage! 43% as compared to... Oh. 353. And yes, you might be thinking, well, what about the back 2? Okay, I missed my timing, but you're gonna get less damage. This thing is gonna make combos ridiculous, so let's try this. Pun not intended, I'm sure. Look at that, 45%, and I just came up with that on the spot. It's incredible. And it's about to get worse. This might also be banned or heavily adjusted, but right now, Ground Ice is terrifying. Here's why. It's an unblockable that restands. And the low actually freezes. Could do it with the grab too, yeah. But we could do this. There we go. See it combo. Whereas if I did it with this, I can't combo. But here's the thing, okay? On knockdown, I am going to make Jade do random things on wake up, okay? It's just random. And I'm going to end this uppercut with ground dice. That was a wake up 2, right? That was probably wake up 2. Stunt. Wake up 3. The only thing that can beat it. That's the only thing that can beat this attack. Wake up 2, nothing. Wake up 2 is not going to stop this thing because of the thing on the ground. And you're thinking, okay, sure. But what about delayed wake up? Well, they still get hit. And you might be thinking, okay, fine. But what if I roll? Well, that is debatable because there's one thing we got to keep in mind. Get up attack. If you do the backward roll, you get caught. And if you do forward, you still get caught because for some reason this thing is classed as a throw. So I'm thinking what they might do to make this thing balanced for 2 slots is make it so that it doesn't beat rolls, so you can at least have a couple of ways of getting out of it. You know what I mean? And now we finish off with who, in my opinion, is going to really break the rules with the competitive variations. And I am, of course, talking about Spawn. Now, here's the thing about Spawn. We're actually going to start relatively modest.
Spawn.
But when you see what one of these things is capable of, you're gonna be terrified. In fact, I'm actually hungry enough and I'm just gonna... Oh no! It got sandwiched, so it lost its toppings. Oh well. There we go. Sorry. So first up is Plasm Pool, which acts a lot like the Chiachitak Totem. The totem that Kotal Khan has. You set this up, and I begin to regenerate meter pretty quickly. On Amplify, it becomes its maximum size, and it recovers fairly quickly. So I can stay back in zone and keep getting my meter back as long as that pool is out. Which, as you can see, is for quite a while. But then, yeah, insert the Keith David laugh. Then, we really get to the dirty stuff. Invoking the Legion. That is a buff unlike any other. Did you see what I just did there? Granted, this Fatal Blow is going to do about 30% less damage. But still, you got access to Fatal Blow at the beginning of the match. So you can do something like... Okay, that's gotta be the big one. So... you can go for your Fatal Blow at basically any time, which is really good. But it can get so much worse. Soul Forfeit. This one they do need to fix a little bit, but not in the way that you might expect, in my opinion. I no longer have 2 offensive bars. I only have 1. But watch this. By the way, I'm gonna swell this a little bit, but easy crushing blows are off. You see where this can become a problem? I'm just going to do a very basic example. That was 1 bar, 44%. Technically, it's always going to be slightly nerfed because of the fact that not only do you lose an offensive bar, but all of your crushing blows, which there's only 1 left, do half of the damage that they normally do. Yeah, baby, this is what I'm talking about. All they need to do to fix Soul Forfeit, in my opinion, is right now it has a bug that prevents that bar from coming back when the round is over. Because, and you might be thinking, well, maybe these easy crushing blows are permanent. They're not. By the end of the round, they're gone. So unfortunately, that's not really a thing that you can do. So you either make it a permanent buff that cannot go away in any way, shape, or form. Cinematic events are no problem because it would be stupid if the easy crushing blow thing went away during any cinematic event. But you could also just have the bar come back between rounds, and then you could just keep repeating Soul Forfeit. I think that'd be pretty nice. That is actually going to do it for the whole stream, folks. 2 hours and 12 minutes later, we covered every single character in Mortal Kombat 11 and beyond. So, don't forget to be awesome, my friends, and I'll see you guys on stream on the 17th, covering the balance changes, besides all of this crap, and the 3 characters will be coming to Mortal Kombat 11 on the 17th. I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye. Whee!